Hey, this is Andy Jenkins with the Oily App Podcast, and I'm actually here up in my, I'm going to tell you a funny story about this room. This is my office that overlooks my side yard that's a ravine that goes down a hill at the tiny house. Now, I'm not going to explain all that. Here's what I will tell you is I got this big window right here. I'm here with Johnny Williams. We're going to talk about fitness. But I'm here and I've got these 3 huge windows and they're maybe 3 feet wide by 5 feet tall each. So that's maybe 9 feet by 5 feet, 50 square feet-ish of window. I put them in here. My daughter used to be in this room before I built the tiny house, and she came in. I put the windows in when she was not here, put them in one night. She came back, the windows are here, and she was absolutely offended. Now, she knew she's going to the tiny house, but she didn't want, in fact, her mantra about the tiny house, this room is huge for bedrooms. So she's like, Dad, I don't want to go to the tiny house. I was like, why? I'm like, it's a house just for the girls. Like, that's it. It's a house connected to this house that has a little bridge. And she's like, I don't want to go over there. I was like, why not? And she kind of talks like that with a little lisp. I was like, why not? She goes, because I have the biggest room in the house. I'm like, this is not the biggest room in the house. I have the biggest room in the house. The master bedroom is the big. No, I have the biggest room. And I asked her, I was like, have you ever been in my room? And she's like, no, but mine's the biggest. And her mantra was, you call it the tiny house because the bedrooms are so small. I'm like, no. It's a tiny house because it's a smaller than the big house, period. Okay. So before the tiny house was done, like I had a couple hours one night, I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and pop those windows in. So came over here, popped them in. She comes back. She walks in and she is offended because she wants the smaller she wants the bigger house, so she doesn't want the smaller house. Like, she's got the biggest room. And so I'm like, look, you're gonna try out the tiny house for a month. If you don't like it, you can move back. And so finally, that's how I got her over there, because I knew when she got over there, she'd love it, which she does. Yeah. But the phrase that she said, and now I love it because I'm doing the podcast, or I'm editing stuff, or today I was editing video, I'm writing some stuff, whatever, doing social media, responding to emails. Like, I've got all these windows, so I could just kind of look out, and it's real peaceful because you're overlooking the woods where all these deer come up. Yeah. But these windows weren't always here, and I remember when she came in, I said, look, if it doesn't work out for you in the tiny house, I will move my office over to that house. Office wasn't set up yet. And you can have your room in this house. And her reply was, if you do that, will you take out the windows? And I'm like, that's not how windows work. Like, you take out the wall and anyway. All right.
That's hilarious.
That's like kids, right? Okay, anyway, that's like a pointless intro just to tell you where we're at. We're talking about fitness. Now, we did 5 episodes on fitness. Maybe, goodness, we took 4 weeks off to do the Ditch and Switch series. Now we're back, and we're going to pick up really where we left off. And so if you've not been tracking along with us for very long, I would encourage you to finish this episode. It's going to stand alone on its own, but go back and listen to episode number 95. That's the first one when Johnny was here. We talked about myths and mistakes that people often make regarding fitness. We did 96. In that episode, we talked about frequency and living above the wellness line. We talked about episode 97, sleep. Episode 98, we talked about essential oils for health. 99, we got into mental health. And in that one, we promised that we were going to come back. Now we're all the way down here. What are we in? 104? Wow. And we're talking about supplements. So, man, why don't you kick it off and talk about the need for it? I got some stuff here from our book, Good Food Is Not Enough. I'm going to put a link in it in the show notes and give some away the first week that we aired this. But, what's the need for supplements? Why? Let's start there. Before we even talk about some of the supplements.
I mean, because some things you can't get naturally from your body or from natural foods. So supplements when supplements come into place, um, especially for your vitamins, making sure you're getting, your courses of protein, your macronutrients and micronutrients. I'm not going to get too far into that, but what I do, just from my perspective, I really take whole foods really serious. So,
Like, describe what a whole food is.
Whole
Because, I mean, a
Foods-
lot of people, the only thing they know, like, whole food, that's like, oh, that's a store. Whole paycheck.
yeah. So whole foods are your foods you can go get at the store. So like I'm going to get chicken, I'm going to get eggs, I'm going to get rice, I'm going to get my vegetables, my fruits, natural things that are, gonna, help your body for nutrition. So
What would be an example of, like, an unwhole food or a...
I try to stay away from processed food,
Okay.
mainly because it's processed and there's things in it that I just don't want in my body. Some things you can't get away from because I do like turkey sausage and some things like that. But
Oh, there's no meat more processed than sausage, is there? Besides maybe a chicken finger.
right,
But
so I try to stay away from processed foods as much as I can. I'll probably have turkey sausages once every 2 weeks. It's not like I'm having it every day. My regimen of what I do, I work out. I get up in the morning at 5 a.m. I go work out. Sometimes I'll eat before I go. Sometimes I won't, depending on my workout and depends on how I'm feeling. So, and when I say I'm eating, I'm not eating like a big course meal. I'm
not breakfast time. Yeah.
I'm basically putting some carbs in my body just so that I have something to burn when I go work out, so I'm not lagging. But then another thing you can do instead of doing that is just hop on some peppermint and that'll get you going. Some RC, some lemongrass, Valor will get you going. Orange will get you going. Lemon will get you going. All pretty much citrus oils will definitely get you going because they're all high energy essential oils. But my regimen, when I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, I'll stretch. I'll, take in a snack, maybe a rice cake, Ningxia Red, just to get me, kind of ready to go hit the gym. Then when I get back from the gym, I'll have my Balance Complete protein shake, which is not a really high protein shake because I know I'm going to get most of my protein from my full breakfast. I'm eating 3 to 4 eggs,
Yeah.
some oatmeal. I'm eating a lot of food. I love food. So,
Well, okay, so, like, how many calories do you think you eat a day? I mean, you probably don't count them, do you?
I don't count, and the reason I don't
count them,
is
but...
because I know my body pretty well. I can pretty much tell from like 2 weeks ago. I looked in the mirror. I was like, oh man, I've kind of lost some mass in my arms. Not because I wasn't working them out. It's because I probably didn't eat. I know I didn't eat that weekend too well. Probably ate like 3 meals the whole weekend.
Right.
And then I saw myself on Tuesday. And I was like, oh, whoa, I need to take in some more calories.
Yeah, it's weird. Once you like kind of learn your body, like I can tell sometimes from
Yeah.
day to day, like, oh wow, I look a little bit leaner.
Definitely.
Oh, I look a little bit
and-
unleaner.
And vascularity will definitely tell you body fat percentage. So, but yeah, I don't count my calories. I'll weigh some protein here and there, just to make sure I'm getting the right ounces in for my chicken and stuff like that. But it's not like oh man, I got to get this amount in at this time, because it's just, for me, I'm not training for anything and it's just too stressful, trying to look at that because, some guys do it. Some people enjoy it. They enjoy that they can stick to that certain thing. But I'm a really flexible guy with myself. I'm not going to beat myself up. I've done that for I don't know how many years playing football. So, but getting back to what I do after I work out, I have a Balance Complete protein shake. Depending on what my workout is, if it's a leg day, I'll really crank up my calories after my workout because I know I burnt a lot of calories. I'll throw some fruits in my Balance Complete. I don't really do much bananas. But I do kind of like bananas a little bit in my shakes. I really love strawberries in my shakes. Some blueberries, high antioxidants. That way I'm getting some recovery things going in there. And like during my workouts, I'll have Amino Wise going. After my workouts, like during the day, I'll be drinking Amino Wise in my canister. But as far as my whole food breakfast, 3 to 4 eggs. I was doing egg whites. I kind of got off of that. I think I was eating too much. And then I'll have some chicken. Chicken
for breakfast?
Yeah.
Man.
Chicken for breakfast. Sometimes if I don't have chicken, I'll have the turkey sausage. Because the turkey sausage, believe it or not, has 1 carb with 1 patty.
That's a lot of food, though. That's like, I'm not even worried about the carb. I'm thinking that's a lot.
It's a lot to take down for my breakfast. So once I eat that breakfast, I know I'm good for the next 4 to 5 hours. So I'm pretty much carb cycling and fasting after I do eat that. So, and sometimes I'll have, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll have some pancakes instead of my oatmeal.
At breakfast, like, this is all...
Yeah, so like, let me write this down for myself.
Are you going to like Denny's or something? Or
no, I'm making all this as soon as I come
this.
home. As soon as I come home, I have a little, what do you call them? They're like...
personal chef?
No.
Like this.
They're like, what are they called? Griddles.
I mean, like, you're eating more food at breakfast than I'm eating at a day.
Yeah, I love breakfast.
It sounds like you just love to eat.
I do love to eat. I do love to eat. Like, I came out as a kid, 12 ounces. I mean, 12 pounds.
12 pounds.
12 pounds, 7 ounces.
Oh, okay.
So I was eating my mom up. I was a big boy. And I've always had a big appetite, and I have a very, very fast metabolism. So that helps me a little bit burning some of those calories.
Okay, so, but even with all that, like, you can go ahead and make your list and write it down. I don't necessarily need it. I just know it's a lot of food. You might need it for you.
3. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend eating my regimen. I would recommend, what I do suggest for clients, like when I'm, training people. I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist or anything like that, but I think it's really good that people diary their food if they don't know their body and what they actually need. So,
well, I think that's a good move anyway. Because, like, a couple years ago, I was, I've told people I was festively plump. I was 50 pounds heavier, and I knew how to lose weight. And in fact, most people that are listening know how to do that. The reality is most of the stuff that we do now, it's not a lack of information that keeps us from doing whatever it is that we're going to do in exercise, nutrition, relationships, marriage, family, kids. Like most of us, it's not a lack of information in any of those areas. It's more so implementing that information.
Right.
And so I knew how to lose weight. I just hadn't eaten right. I could go, I told somebody this week, I was in a conversation, I said, I could go run 6-8 miles and pound it out. When I was 50 pounds heavier. Now, when I lost weight, for sure, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm now stronger and I'm not carrying that weight. So the swing was massive. But
in this food regimen I'm on is not for losing.
Well, not
releasing weight.
My regimen was, I wrote one for releasing weight because I needed to, but I started writing it down. So my routine was I would get up in the morning for breakfast, but I wouldn't eat. Like, I would go work out on an empty stomach. I'd brush my teeth, drink some water, put on my clothes, go work out.
Fast training.
And then, and that's just the routine. I still do that. If I'm going to go ride my bike 50, 60 miles, if I'm going to go run 10 miles, if I'm going to go do interval training for an hour, I go cold. I drink a little bit of water and go get it.
That's a good way
so
to
that's
do it.
Kind of where...
That's a good... I mean, if you can do that, that's a really good way to...
Well, my body's fat adapted, so it
weight.
will burn fat instead of getting hungry, which is... And I guess I'm saying that because people on there need to know, well, there's not just one way to do it. The thing I had in common is I did write down what exercise I did. I've made a spreadsheet, kind of nerdish, and I would write what I did, and I had a routine I was going through every day. I would write down what I weighed, and I always weighed the same time. It was always when I was taking a shower after exercise. So I knew it was.
Man, I haven't weighed.
It was a little bit lighter.
I probably weighed myself 2 years ago.
But I was trying to lose weight, so
Right.
I needed to. I saw myself full length in the mirror, naked. It was like I got to drop something, and then I would write down all throughout the day what I ate, and that did a couple things. Number one, it helped me make some better decisions.
Right.
Number two, a lot of times you'd be shocked how many times I was going to eat something and then I decided not to because I didn't want the hassle of writing that snack down. It's not worth the trouble.
Right.
Third, it like showed me some patterns of, golly, like I'm tending to reach for this. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many times you're walking through the kitchen and or you pull up in the car outside and you walk into the house and the first thing you do is take off your jacket, drop the keys, and you're like, I'm gonna go get a drink. Well, those have calories,
Right.
unless it's water, and a snack. So it helped pull all of that together for Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I would recommend if you're wanting to release weight. Track what you're eating, because most people think, oh man, I'm eating enough. Like if you're trying to gain weight, oh yeah, I'm eating a lot. And I said, well, track your weight track your food diary. Every time you eat, just put it down, what time you ate it.
Yeah.
And after 2 weeks, let me know. Send me that and see what it looks like. And you got people that they're like, oh man, I didn't know I was not eating enough. I didn't know I was eating too much. I didn't know I was. Some people not eating at all. I'm like,
yeah, you're just not aware.
Because people get busy, they have schedules, and it also depends, depending on how your workouts, are you basing your workouts around your food consumption, because that's a big key too. On my leg days, I'll definitely, like, if I know I'm gonna have, like I was talking to you the other day, if I know I'm gonna have my flex day, which most people call cheat days. If I'm going to have a flex day, I'm going to make sure that one of my leg days is around that flex day. Now, I do legs pretty much every day, but I don't like my heavy leg days. If I'm going to take in a lot of calories, which I do take in a lot of calories, but...
Well, yeah, you hadn't even made your breakfast list.
If I'm going to take in a lot of calories, like more than I expect, or if I'm going out to eat with somebody, I'll make sure that I plan those days around that. So,
because the calories are coming?
I know they're coming. Or I know that I can target them much, much better when I'm doing legs. And that's,
okay.
I don't know if there's much science behind that. I know people...
Makes you feel better.
It definitely makes me feel better. To me, I look better after I do that for some reason.
After the cheat day?
After my cheat days, I look
really...
Like my vascularity is like unbelievable after my flex days when I do leg days.
Well, yeah. All right, so here's where I want to kind of roll into this right now. We've been talking about food for, 12, 15 minutes, something like that. But this was a podcast episode about supplements.
Yeah.
I think it's a great tie into that, though, because a lot of times I think what people forget is that the supplements... a supplement is an addition. Like if you just think of supplement, just the word, not even supplements and the usage of vitamins and nutritional aids. To supplement something means to add to it. Like supplemental income is additional income. Right. So when we talk about supplements that you're ingesting, we're talking about something that you're taking in addition to your food.
And that could be supplements as far as like Ningxia Red or anything, or that could be a supplement of a better choice. Instead of eating the crappy food, eat the good food. That could be something, that's more of a replacement, but if somebody's drinking 3 Cokes a day, don't drink 3 Cokes a day, just drink 1 Coke, supplement the other 2 with water,
Well, I think that's where a lot of people miss it, is because this is going to be so unpopular right here. But I'm just going to say it. We are, Young Living is a a health and wellness company, yet the stereotype of people that are in network marketing is that a lot of them are obese.
Yes.
And so, like, you go to a Young Living convention, I mean, how many people there, and there will always be, and there should always be, this is so politically incorrect, like, but I mean, it's 2020, anything goes. There should always be people who are unhealthy that are at a gym. There should always be people that are unhealthy in a nutritional company, in a health and wellness company like we are, but it shouldn't be the same people.
Right.
Like, at some point,
we should see a change.
People come in, there's a change. And I think part of it is we have this, a lot of people don't know about the supplements, but then a lot of people think that you can out-supplement a bad diet.
No.
And you can't. Like, it's an addition to a decent or good eating plan.
Right. And that's a great point because, when I first learned about Young Living, I didn't learn it from a male that was in shape or anything like that. I learned it from my mother-in-law and my wife, who are amazing at what they do. And I knew nothing about tying them into fitness, right? And so when I started to research more, I was like, the supplements are the best hidden secret here. Essential oils are great.
Well, there's entire companies based on supplements only that are lesser than the supplements that we have access to.
Right. And I'm like, my God, the supplements that Young Living has are probably the best on the market. Starting with Ningxia Red. Now that they have amino acids. They have all your vitamins that you can think of. Your Super C, your B vitamins. They have Omega Gi's, your Omega 3s. I mean, they have so many supplements that you can tie into your daily nutrition that will definitely help benefit weight loss, muscle building, cognitive ability, everything. And so when I discovered this, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a fitness page, and I'm going to share about not only using essential oils for fitness, but supplements. Because these supplements are far better than the ones that these people on IG are selling, Facebook are selling. Because half of the stuff in there are fillers. I know, I've been to these farms. I've been to, Young Living convention and seen, Young Living and how they produce their stuff. And so I was like, this is a great key for not only my success, the people around me who I train, to use these products. And it's been a great thing for me because I feel like I'm more energetic. I feel like I'm more stable. I feel like I'm more aware, and just I'm more vibrant when I use Young Living. And so I really enjoy every one of their products, especially their supplements.
Well, I mean, it's a good point about the quality of a couple weeks ago, Ernie and I shot the Ditch and Switch video class, and then we aired the podcast. And in the Ditch and Switch class, we talk about like 7 different categories of areas where junk kind of gets into our system.
Right.
And I think number 4 is, I'm looking at the book, so it is number 4, vitamins and supplements. And they were in that study a couple years ago where they discovered, this is footnoted in the book, so you can look it up, get the source. GNC, Target, Walgreens, and Walmart had lab tests, and they found that only 21% of the products they had actually had DNA from the plants advertised on the labels.
Oh my God.
Like 1/5, basically.
That's horrible.
1/5 was what they actually said, meaning 4/5 clearly were not.
In most dietary supplements, most dietary supplements, there's on average, I think we're spending $35 billion a year.
On supplements?
On supplements.
Well, I mean, that's horrible because they said all but 5 of the products that they studied, and I'm not sure exactly how many they studied total, but all but 5 contained DNA that was not even recognizable. Like, you couldn't even, I mean, it looked like DNA, but it was
right.
Created in a lab, or So it became a huge issue. Harvard Medical studied some of it and said, well, a lot of the good ingredients are actually getting destroyed because of the manufacturing process.
Right.
So it was.
Well, I get this question a lot. Why would I buy Young Living's protein powder, and it's in a little container, and I can go right to Walmart and I can get the
Big container.
The big container. I was like, well,
I've got a friend that does that. He gets the big container.
Like, why are you going to get the big container? Because your bioavailability is only getting not even a third of that container.
Well, let's explain bioavailability. We talk about it in this book, Good Food is Not Enough. I'll put a link to that in the show notes too. But, so bio is life.
Right.
Availability is available for life. So it's what's available for your body to actually use.
Right.
So if there's stuff in there your body can't use, or sometimes I notice they inflate their ingredient list with a lot of extra ingredients that
sugars
your body can't, like,
there's tons and tons of stuff, and you can go look it up, but as far as speaking from a Young Living standpoint, I've done the research and I know their products are what they say they are. I'm a product of their products. I'm in better shape than I was in college. Well, I'm better shape now than I was in college. And that's just not me working out, because I was working out then too.
Probably more.
I was eating horrible.
Yeah, you're a scholarship athlete.
But at the same time, I was running way more than I am now. I was very, very active, And so I feel like I'm in much, much better shape than I was in college. I could probably still play football right now, just from how I feel. Like, I feel like I could. Now, football shape's a totally different thing than going to the weight room.
I'd get crushed.
Football is totally different, but I still have some speed. I still have my agility, my flexibility. I have more flexibility and mobility than I did when I was in college, because I went through a lot of injuries in college. And so, I feel like Young Living has a lot to do with that. Just from, using their oils, using their products, So.
Well, let me come up with a couple quick takeaways as we round this one out for people that might help them just kind of wrap their head around all of this. I think number one would be the supplement is a supplement to what you are eating.
Right.
So you've got to have the assumption that if you're going to tackle these supplements, that you are eating well. If you are not eating well, you are wasting your money when you go to supplements.
Correct.
Okay. Number two is,
don't waste your money if you're going to go eat McDonald's.
You're just going to poop your money down the toilet. Is all that is.
There's no point in you investing in supplements if you're going to go eat McDonald's, Wendy's, and all that. And nothing bad on McDonald's. I'm not shunning McDonald's. I'm just saying if you're going to intake that,
that's one.
There's no reason.
That's one dietary choice.
Right. There's no reason to be spending $100 on a supplement that is supposed to help boost your, you living above the wellness line, and then you contradicting that with going to eat something that's just not.
Well, it's like the guy, I had a college roommate that, man, multiple times I came in at night and he was so into fitness. I'd come in, he would have the radio on, strobe lights. I'd see him down the hall from at the end of the dorm. Our rooms were side by side. It was kind of a suite we shared. It 4 guys. So at the end of the hall, our rooms were at the end, on the corner, and I would see the strobe lights, just booming out. Hear Madonna blaring. Turn the corner, James is in there like pumping iron, like just at 10 o'clock at night. But then the next morning, I had 8 o'clock classes. I would get up, go run, go to class, come back, walk in, and my routine was that 10 o'clock hour was kind of an off hour for classes at Sanford where I went, because they had convocation and it was basically church services that you had to go to a certain amount to graduate. So everybody skipped them until you had to do like, I got to have 60 to graduate. You have to go to every single one that last semester, right? So I'd go in there, turn on the lights, walk through the restroom that connected our rooms, flip on his light, wake him up. He would roll up in the end of the bed, raise the window, had a dorm fridge, take out a Diet Coke, 2-liter, pour it in a big 32-ounce plastic cup, light up a cigarette, Diet Coke and cigarette for his breakfast at 10 a.m.
Oh my God.
After 10 p.m., he had done the Madonna workout.
The Madonna workout.
And I was like, dude, like you're
I had a guy.
You're yo-yoing, like you're undoing everything you just did. His argument was, I kid you not, it was, well, like that's my point. I'm just trying to break even between the two things. And a lot of people, their diet and their supplements,
well, you have guys
they're just breaking even.
Right. You have guys that want to do that. So there's this guy at the gym, and I admire him. Like, this guy comes to the gym every single day. Every day I'm there, he's there early, and he's not on the phone, he's not doing anything but working for a whole hour in it.
Not shooting videos, not like everybody look at me on Instagram.
And I asked him, I said, hey man, I know you were at the other gym. I said, are you training for anything? And he says, no, I'm trying to out-train my wife's food. Because she can cook, and I
can eat.
And I said, are you okay with that? He said, sure. I feel good. I don't look the way I want to look. But I can move and I can work out. I can do, whatever I want to do. And when I'm in here. And I said, great for you, man. I didn't know how to come back.
Well, at least he knew what he was doing.
But he knew exactly what he was doing.
Know, that's we're not trying to judge that.
Right.
Just maybe trying to communicate to people that's what you're doing.
Right.
Okay. So that said, if once we get over that hurdle, let's give people point number 2, which is pick something to work on. This is my guess, and this is what I put in the book, Good Food Is Not Enough. Like, start with your gut. Because if you're not, because my thought is, so like a probiotic like Life9, something in that range, I would probably add Ninja Red to that. But my thought is, if your gut can't absorb the nutrients,
right,
you're also pooping your money down the drain.
Right. And that's a good key. You're talking about mentioning Ningxia Red, because Jim Bob talks about how Ningxia Red is a liquid supplement.
Yeah, you don't think of it like that, but that's what it is.
It's much easier to take that in than your body having to break it down, and so you're getting all those amazing nutrients. If you don't know about Ningxia Red and you're listening to this, you really, really need to go research that, because Ningxia Red is the best supplement in Young Living. It's probably the best supplement on the market. I love Ningxia Red, and sometimes I know we get a lot of Ningxia Red in our house, and sometimes Mama Tanya, I hope you don't whoop me for this, but I love Ningxia Red.
Is she listening to this?
Yeah, I'm sure she is, but I really love the Ningxia Red that's in our house. And so
you go visit your mother-in-law just to take her Ninja Red.
I love Ningxia Red, man. And in our office we have Ningxia Red, and they've said I can drink that one, but at the house I'm not sure they said I could drink the one.
Just do it anyway. So I'm a son.
I know she wants the best for me, and I know she knows I want Ningxia Red. So
you married her daughter and you got a grandbaby,
so I could do pretty much anything. Huh?
All right, so let's give people point number 3. This is probably the final point. Is maybe pick an area they need to address to support. Let's give them let's pick 4 or 5 things they could order. Not everything they could order, but for instance, if you have a person that's dealing with joints, what would you suggest?
I would first suggest Agilise, or BLM. What's the other one? SuperCal Plus.
No, just what?
Just one.
Just one.
Agilise.
Okay, so Agilise. If you're working out and you're new to it, what would you suggest for people? Because we're gonna get to the first of the year.
If you're working out,
a lot of people are gonna go
new to working out.
Hey, I'm gonna go to the gym. Everybody's gonna eat through the holidays.
Supplement or essential? Supplement?
Yeah, just a supplement. Amino-wise. All right, so if you are
it's a little bit more budget friendly than Ningxia Red, you're still going to be able to build muscle. It's good for hydration.
Amino acids.
Yeah, it's gonna. It's really good. So look up Amino-wise.
All right, so if you let's think of another one. We've talked about the gut. Said definitely to start there. What if you're trying to lose weight?
I would look
what
into the
shakes would you?
I would look
that's
into
all
the
in the
sleek products. Sleek tea could be good for you.
Yeah.
If you want to release weight. Another one would be
When you got the sleek shakes in there.
you have sleek shakes. Balance Complete is not only good for your gut, but it's also good for releasing weight as well.
Yeah.
Because there's so many great things as far as the fiber count in Balance Complete. That's my favorite protein they have.
Okay. And then tell me one more, and just give me like what's your favorite of all of them that may be something that we haven't mentioned that's a supplement. And you go, hey, yeah, if I might try this one, and I'd say
for men, Power Jize.
Okay, Power Jize has the same stuff in it that's in Goldenrod. I mean, they're like that's where the Goldenrod is when they sell out. Like it's in Power Jize.
Yeah. So for men, Power Jize.
Okay, so that gives people really some things to start trying. A couple points about supplements there, and then really gives you really an on-ramp. Here's what I would encourage you to do. If you need more information about supplements, go down to the show notes. We've got a link there to our book, Good Food Is Not Enough. That will tell you more on a dietary level, the importance of supplements. That will give you kind of a step-by-step place of really kind of the core four we suggest of where to start just for foundational health. So take a look at that. I would encourage you to take a look at chapter 4 of the Ditch and Switch book where we give you all of the data on those supplements. Well, anything else you want to add to this conversation about supplements?
Maybe we can add some, maybe 2 or 3 little meal plans in there for people to start with. You know, give them a grocery list.
Not yours. I mean,
not mine.
Nobody can afford that.
Not mine, but going, you know, if you're trying to release weight, probably add some meal plans in there to help you.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, we did a whole book on keto.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So,
you can grab that thing.
Yeah, you can grab that book
sucker too.
keto.
I'll put a link on it. Okay, that's it. This is Andy Jenkins. Do me a favor. Go to your app store with your smartphone. Grab a hold of Oily app. It is like having a desk reference on your smartphone. It does things that a book will not do. A book will not notify you every time something goes in stock or out of stock. A book will not help you manage your personal inventory. There are podcasts, there are videos on the app. There are monthly giveaways on the app. All of that information right there is available for you for a one-time fee in your smartphone app store. Head over, iOS, Android, Google Play, all that kind of stuff. That's it. All right, we'll be back with you next week, Johnny.
Yep.
All right, signing off.
Bye-bye.